Today, I wanted to talk about the 10 things you need to know before coming to Medellin. So number one, airport access. So a lot of times when foreigners come to the airport for the first time, you're gonna be bombarded with a bunch of taxis, a bunch of people trying to get your business, right? The sad part about Colombia is that they try to take advantage of foreigners a lot. So my recommendation is you can take a taxi, but you have to negotiate it up front. If you're coming by yourself, I recommend two things. You can take the bus or a shared taxi. Both of these go to the same place. The bus is cheaper, but it takes a little longer to arrive. The shared taxi, once the car is full with 4 people, then you guys are going off to your destination. The shared taxi and the bus make you land in San Diego, and from there you can take a taxi or an Uber to your next destination. If you want to take a Uber or a taxi from the airport, it's going to probably cost you 100,000 to 120,000 Colombian pesos, whereas the bus only costs 13,000. Shared taxi costs 25,000. If you're going in a group or 3 or 4, I do recommend private transportation because it's going to be more bang for your buck and it's more convenient. I have a Medellin travel guide. If you guys are interested, it's free. All you got to do is sign up to my newsletter. I give you guys a bunch of really good information about Colombia, how to get a visa, share with you guys my contacts. There's also a link if you guys want to set up a consultation with me, and my course is also available for purchase if you guys like. Number 2, you're going to get gringo priced everywhere. It helps to know a little bit of the language, but when you try to negotiate with somebody, just expect to be gringo priced right away. Especially in a city like Medellin, they're kind of known for trying to take advantage of foreigners here, so you have to protect yourself. If you go to the smaller cities, this doesn't happen as much, even though it does happen. So just kind of keep that in mind, that people are always going to be overcharging you. Let's say you're in a taxi, make sure the meter is running. Uber is probably the best way to go because you already agree to the fare up front. If you're at a restaurant, obviously all the prices are on the factura, pero they might try to charge you a little more with like hidden fees or taxes or charge you for an extra drink. Unfortunately, that's just the culture here in Medellin. You know, it's very much like, what can I do to take advantage of other people? So please keep that in mind. Also, when it comes to tours or doing things around the city, please shop around. Walk around and just do a little bit of shopping, because if you go to the hostels or the hotels or you go on these premium websites, you're going to be charged like a premium gringo price, often 2 or 3 times what it actually costs. So keep that in mind. So I am in this beautiful Airbnb apartment with my friends at Local Medellin. My buddy Rick was nice enough to let me stay here. I'm going to be making a bunch of videos in this place, and you guys are going to see a video of this apartment. I'm telling you, it's one of the best apartments that you've seen in your life. And I really love what Rick is doing because he's trying to offer like a luxury Airbnb experience, and these houses are fantastic. So watch out for that. Number 3, get out of Poblao if you want a better Colombian experience. Most foreigners, when they arrive here, they go straight to Poblao because it's the most well known. I don't know what's happened over the last couple of years, but especially like around Parque Lleras, Calle 10, that whole entire place has evolved into Gringo City. And it's crazy because it's not even Poblao. Like if you look everywhere in the city, even in El Centro and like some of the poorer areas, there's gringos walking around everywhere too. It's actually insane. Out of Poblao, the places that I personally would recommend are like Estadio, Laureles, Belen, I actually think is really, really nice as well, or Los Colores. Like some of the smaller low-key barrios, Itagüí, Sabaneta, Envigado, like these places you can still get a local experience because most of the foreigners are coagulated in Poblao. But even then, in Poblao, if you go away from like the main tourist area, Parque Poblao, Parque Lleras, Santa Fe, Oviedo, El Tesoro, getting out of the tourist areas gives you a better experience, and you get away from all the people who are trying to like take advantage of you. Number 4, don't wear shorts here unless you want to stand out as a gringo. I see gringos walking around all the time with their jean shorts or their cargo shorts, and I mean, one, it looks ugly. And I understand why people do it because, you know, sometimes it can get hot here, but I always say that if you want to move here, you just want to make yourself as less of a target as possible and respect the culture and try to blend in. Common uniform is a t-shirt, jeans, sneakers. I'm wearing slippers right now because I'm at home, but you could fight it. You can say it's a problem, whatever. Every time I see a gringo wearing shorts, I'm just like, you look like a fool. And this is exactly what Colombians are thinking too. There are only 2 instances where you can wear shorts here in Colombia. That is when you go to the beach or if you go to the gym. Otherwise, try to avoid it. Number 5, they have a term here called dar papaya. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. Essentially, it means don't give people a reason to rob you. Don't be flashy with your stuff. I don't know why it's very common because things are so cheap here. A lot of foreigners, especially Americans, like to come down here and act like a baller because they have a few $100, right? So they'll be flashy with their money. They'll wear nice jewelry. They'll wear chains. All of these things I highly, highly, highly recommend avoiding. It makes you a bigger target for getting robbed. You know, I would rather be someone who has money in secret and nobody knows I had money than somebody who comes down here and tries to act like they have money and, it's like showing all these things. It's just not worth it, And then when other Colombians see you doing that, they're just thinking to themselves like, oh, this guy's just a gringo. They don't understand the culture, yada, yada, yada. So there's no real advantage to doing that. Also, all the girls that you're gonna pull are probably gonna be gold diggers. So yeah, it is what it is. But you can wear a wedding band and like a regular watch. I would not recommend like a Rolex or anything like super fancy. I just wear like a regular Casio watch. Number 6. So the malls here are really awesome. There are a bunch of really, really big ones. My recommendations are Viva Envigado, Santa Fe, and El Tesoro. If you guys are looking for something that's electronic, I highly recommend Centro Monterrey, which is in Poblao as well. Los Molinos is actually really nice. That one's in Medellin. You can go to San Diego, which is where they drop you off at the airport. Plus, if you go to El Tesoro, there's a park right below the mall called Parque Uva, and it's one of the nicest parks you've ever been to, and it's a great park to go with dogs. Number 7, something to keep in mind is that the most common way to get robbed is 2 guys in a moto coming up to you with a pistol, asking for your phone or your wallet, or if you have a laptop, all of that stuff, right? So there's a couple of ways to avoid this. If you're gonna be living here for a long time, I recommend to a lot of people buying a burner phone. You can buy a phone that costs maybe $100, and if someone were to rob you, you just give them that phone instead of like giving them your iPhone. iPhones are very sought after here because iPhones are worth like 10 million, 6 million, 7 million Colombian pesos, which is like 6 to 8 months of a monthly salary for most Colombians. So like I say, you just wanna make yourself as less of a target as possible. You can take it out when you're in malls and you're in areas that are closed off, but when you're on the street and you're next to a road and there's a bunch of motos going by, that's when you have the highest probability of being robbed. During the day, not so much, even though I've seen it happen, but it's more so like at night when it's dark, you just want to avoid like being in a sketchy situation altogether. This time around in Medellin, I actually don't feel like it's as unsafe as I thought it was, but that chance and that probability is always there, so you just want to do your best to avoid all of that. Number 8, Airbnb is getting extremely expensive because there's a lot of demand here in Medellin. However, you're going to be noticing that over the next couple of months, the market is getting extremely saturated because a lot of people are just putting a room, basic furnishings, all of that, and you're going to see the prices go down, or a lot of people are going to be offering discounts. The best way, if you want to rent for a long period of time, go to an Airbnb, stay there for a week or 2, and then if you like it, try to negotiate something directly with the owner. That way you can pay a lower price. A lot of people complain about the price of furnished apartments, but supply and demand, man. The gringo invasion is here. A lot of people are moving here. They want this style of life, so you can't complain. You just kind of have to roll with the punches. If you are looking for something to rent, or if you are looking to buy though, I can set you up with my realtor friend Andrea. She's the one I've been doing all the videos with, and she can help you make a purchase, or even if you're looking to rent, she can help you with that as well. Number 9, traffic can get pretty bad during rush hour. Rush hour is from the morning, I would say from like 7, 8 in the morning to around 10, and then it starts to pick up again around 4:30 in the afternoon to around maybe 7. If you're trying to go to a place, especially during rush hour or something, my biggest recommendation is to take the metro to a station more or less to where you want to go, and then from there you can take a taxi to wherever you need to arrive to. It's a little cheaper, but also it's the most convenient sometimes, because if you see the traffic on the highway sometimes it can get pretty crazy. Thankfully Ubers here are pretty cheap, but you have to be strategic about it because it's very common that you'll get stuck in traffic a lot here. It's just slowly getting worse because there's more people moving here every single year, so keep that in mind. Number 10, if you're looking for partying and prostitution, I'm not saying that I condone it. All I'm saying is that be safe about it, and there are certain places to go for that if you want a safer experience. A lot of people are picking up girls from the street, and a lot of people have had good experiences with that. They're a lot more expensive, and there's always that probability that you're going to get drugged. So I would recommend going to massage parlors or brothels. If you want to talk more deeply about it, book a consultation. And number 11, best to stay off the dating apps. And this is more advice for men. If you're a woman and you're looking for a guy there, okay, maybe it will work for you. I have known a few people who have met their partner from dating apps like Tinder or Bumble, so it's definitely possible. All I'm saying is that for a risk and reward, right? If there's a high risk that the people that you're going to meet on there are going to drug you or are prostitutes, and I think you can pretty much tell as well just based on the profile pictures, and sometimes people are just dumb. But in my opinion, it's just not worth it. I don't like dating from dating apps. It never feels like real or authentic, Like I like that chemistry and stuff. That's just me personally. But do what you want, that's just my opinion. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.